I'm switching out the valve cover gasket today, and I think I've got pretty much what I need here. The new valve cover gasket set, 10mm ratchet, a pick, flathead screwdriver, some pliers, and black silicone. Next step is to remove this alternator wiring harness, and it looks like it's a bolt here and a clip only get onto here. So the bolt is off and that clip is out, but it looks like to actually get enough clearance I have to take this plug out, and down here is a 10mm bolt holding on the ground wire, so I'll get those off and pull it over the cover. Please unplug your battery before doing anything. This happened. Sparks flying everywhere. I learned my lesson, so I hope I didn't fry my battery. I got the alternator harness off. Now what I see before I start pulling off the bolts is I have one ground wire here and another bolt holding the bracket for this hose here, so I'll get those off. A magnetic 10mm socket will change your life. It'll save you so much time from having to find things that fall into there. But I think there's a vacuum line. I pulled that off. And I also got to get this one, and I think that's a PCV. And from what I can tell, it'll just be these bolts. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, 7, 8. They're all off now, and as you can see, this one didn't even have a washer or a grommet on there. I hope I can get this cover off in one go. I think this thing looks to be in pretty good shape. I don't know if this has ever been replaced or when it was done last, so I just like to keep a record on these things. While I have all this open, I'm also going to paint my valve cover. Restore it back to this is a semi-gloss black engine enamel, so it should withstand heat. So it'll cover my nice little workbench here that I've constructed. I've got a piece of cardboard here. I'm gonna lay the cover here. And use aircraft remover to get all this stuff off. I've never used it before. Might be fun. Before I pour on that aircraft remover, I want to show you guys why I want to paint this thing. See, there's little chips everywhere. This is dull. See here, and it just looks ugly to me. So what I want to do is strip it all down, sand this until it looks really nice and polished and it'll pop out, mask it, and then spray it with primer, followed by that engine enamel that I showed you guys. check that out, man. I had to do another application of the stripper, but I mean, look at that. I rinsed it off. I'm gonna give it a few hours to dry thoroughly before I sand this up, give it a really nice polished look. There are some remaining spots of paint where I can easily sand it off with a bit of 320 or even finer than that, but I'll be back. So I'm going to give it one more good cleaning and we'll start with the primer. I got shaky hands.
Well, I don't know when to start.
This looks awesome. So I had my wife scrape off the paint with the razor blade and I sanded off all the excess with the block. Later in the day I decided to actually go ahead and clear coat it because I had some laying around and I thought, why not? Let's flip it over and hope it doesn't stick onto the cardboard. I mean, it's been drawn overnight, so it shouldn't. And what I'm gonna do is clean it up just a bit, any dirt, whatever, just to make sure the new gasket sits on there correctly. In this set we've got the 4 gaskets for each of these cylinders here. We've got the ones that go on the stud, and there should be 8. Yep, 8. And the actual gasket is here. And this is going to go this way. So I'm going to use it on spots like here, 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 where there's like a crazy change in, you know, shape of the gasket. I'm just going to use a couple dots on each area. I've got all of the stud grommets on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start tightening from the middle first, and then move out from the side and then retighten the middle ones, just to let that seal spread out and make a proper seal. I'm gonna put this back together now, just how I took it all apart. I'll show you guys the end result. My battery's good! This project is done. Apart from painting the valve cover, I also painted the spark plug cover. Brought it back to black, and I did the same thing as this. I painted all black and just sanded that off. I think it just looks a bit more mature than what I had before, which was a blue that matched the spark plug wires. But there you go.